In the beginning, in the spring of 1971, a retired sailor started building a baseball team around his young son at the 19th and Cheltenham Avenue baseball field behind Pantry Pride, Erland Field. The retired sailor was Kenny Cole. After Cole got a job and needed help, he turned to the father of one of his players. The father graciously agreed to help. That father was Richard Roberts. After the season, smitten by the bug to get the community youth involved, the kids and Roberts decided to start a football team. Roberts called on his friend to help him with the team. His friend was coaching the Somers baseball team at the time. That friend was Harry O. Wilson. Together they drafted other adults to help organize a team. The response was good. Next, there was a need to find a league. A new league named after Martin Luther King was started in North Philadelphia. It was an excellent opportunity for a startup team. Then there was a need for a name and a sponsor. Both were obtained at the same time. A local merchant named John Betha, whose son was on the baseball team, agreed to sink some money into the new group. The group then took on the name of his cleaners, JJ, and added the sobriquet name Wildcats. The first year in the Martin Luther King 100-pound 12 and under conference, the JJ Wildcats finished second to the Camden Simbas. During the season, the team coaches and a few parents met and organized, electing officers and establishing bylaws. With a board of directors in place, it was now time to incorporate. The incorporation papers were secured under the lead of Lynn Hubbard, brother of John Hubbard. During an 11-hour meeting, all papers were completed and the name was assigned to the newly organized board, the Oak Lane Youth Association, new colors, royal blue and white, and a new motto, dedicated to youth. The organization was officially incorporated in 1972. By that time, there was a football team, cheerleaders, and a basketball team ages 13 to 15. The basketball team was coached by John and Lynn Hubbard. That is the way it was in the beginning.
He told me, Dad, I made this baseball team. I said, okay. So then, so when is your next practice? He said, Thursday. So Thursday, I went over to their practice, and there was just one person over there coaching them. And I came out the stands, and I said, you need some help? Yes, I do. So I started helping him, and then his name was Kenny Cole. The next practice is Saturday. So Saturday, I got over there at 10 o'clock in the morning. He never showed, so I took that little team on from there.
Richard Roberts and Cole coached the baseball team, and there was a guy named Bethea. He had cleaners. Right down there off of 19th Street, he had cleaners. And they called it the JJ Cleaners. He's the one that started the baseball team. And he got Cole, who was a friend of his, the coach. And Cole got Roberts, and Roberts got me. But by the time I got there, the season was over, and we started talking about football. One of the main reasons we started the organization was because of the gang wars were going on at that time. Yeah, we had gang wars all around this area. People getting shot up and killed, young boys, you know. We decided one of the ways to combat it was get these kids involved in something else, the grain, and we started a league. Well, we were just doing it because we like sports, and we lived help, you know. So that's where it really started.
When I started, they were coaching behind 19th and Cheltenham. We used to be Pantry Pride, and they had teams back there. And I remember when I first started, we used to practice by car light. We didn't have lights. We used to practice with the car lights, and from there we got in touch with Martin Luther King. They had the field back there. Nobody was using it, so we asked, could we use the field? And in order for us to use that field, we had to go back there and clean it up. We had to cut trees and rakes and everything else. We took the kids with us and we cleaned it up. And that's where we started practicing back there. And from there, we went to Somers Recreation Center. We got lights out there, and we went from there.
Take me from the beginning of the Wildcats.
Well, from my understanding, you had some young men who wanted to get back to the community, something similar to what I'm doing, and they actually kind of shaped my life. So I'm looking at Mr. Roberts, Mr. Hubbard, Mr. Wilson, Mr. Bunch. Mr. Brown was like my first experience at a young age. I actually played 85 Pop Warner before I ended up playing 75 Keystones, and I played that with Mr. Bunch, Mr. Wilson, and Mr. Hubbard. There I kind of understand the game and kind of was a humbling experience as a young guy with having two older brothers that went through the program and thinking that I was going to be as good as they were when I stepped on the field. But I can say that the gentlemen really gave us a lesson of being men and being accountable. Mr. Brown was just a different type of beast as a coach. He was just like execution. And it was just more like, that was my first level of like dominating young men on the football field. Like, I was always dominant at my position, but like seeing a team like just dominate and demoralize other teams, that was really my first experience of that. And what he gave us, it lasted a lifetime. We went on to 105s and did the same thing and dominated. And the kids who I played with, we have a lifetime bond of just understanding work ethic. And I think from looking out there over the past couple of years, you don't see the work ethic that them guys put in or they instilled in us. And I think it was beneficial to me as I got older because I never had a great skill set, especially in basketball. But the work ethic that they gave me in football, it made me become a better basketball player. So I actually thank them guys, and they're one of the reasons why I'm still in the community doing what I'm doing.
This was the first Division I trophy that Oak Lane won and Pop Warner as a Division I. You know, this was in 2011, Division I, Keystone. You know, they go with that Division III and II. We was the first ones that won it in Division I. Just some of the balls, that championship, balls that the kids signed. He going right. He going right. Yeah.
My name is Tommy Albert Shields Jr. I started with Oak Lane in 1986. I gave my service to this community for 30 years. Truly speaking, Oak Lane did a lot for my family, and I know Oak Lane did a lot for this community. I retired 3 years ago, but I have not stopped helping this community. I will never stop helping and going out there and help. And I ain't no trader neither. like I look at Mr. Wilson, I look at Mr. Bunce, I look at Mr. Roberts, Mr. Hubbard, Coach Rice, Mr. Brown, Mr. Turner, I look at coaches like that. I also, then you go back and then you look at like Mr. Young, all them guys, they were so dedicated to them kids. It used to fascinate me. Wow. I used to say, if I can just sit at the same table with some of them guys, right, then I'll be a good coach. Wow. And I always used to go to Mr. Turner house. I used to always ask Mr. Bunce, because they was defensive coaches. Right. What makes you so successful as far as teaching kids? And I used to take their format and I used to add myself to it. So with that, made me a very good defensive coach. Okay. I can say that. Yeah, you can say coaching 8, 9, and sometimes you can turn 10 within a year. I ain't give up points. Right. I had a team in 1996. Not only they was undefeated, it was unscored on. Wow. I made them do something that I have never heard no other team do. Not only you be undefeated, but not give up a point all year. That's why I loved them. And that's why I felt a need to be there. Because with them guys, them older guys before me, what they did. It's like when you first got in contact with me, I pushed for you to go see them because they can fill in the things before. Right. you know, for me. Yep. You know, now, any questions you want to ask me after that,
Right.
then, you know, we can go from there. Old Lane was a very positive program for kids. They provided a lot of things for kids because a lot of kids, they don't ask for much. All they really doing is they just want somebody to recognize them. Okay. And like I said, they want people to spend quality time for them. That's what I always tell people. Kids ain't bad. Some of us as adults is bad.
Right.
You know, because kids come out to certain program because it's escape for the things that's going on around them. You know, so they come to programs like Oak Lane to get away from some of the dumb stuff that goes on in their household.
Mostly all the ones up there are most valuable player trophies and run-up most valuable players. You know, the ones down the bottom is as you see, this was mostly my daughters.
Okay.
You know, for running track for Oak Lane and far as the drill team. This big trophy is for a world trophy of Vegas. They won the world competition in Vegas. You know, over here, is all football, track, almost valuable player. You know, as you see, that's for college. This was my first 1988 Keystone Championship. These are all plaques from different kids in different years that played. You know, as you see. This trophy over here, when you turn around. Well, we go there.
Wow.
We go there. Yeah, up top is all plaques from playoff. I only missed the playoff for a time, so 30 years. Wow. Yeah. It is take time. It's something that's what. Championship. The big one is all championships. All championships.
All championships?
All down here, all champs. As you see,
Wow.
you know, that's from me on the board, awards. These all championship trophies from different years. From 65s all the way up to 125s. You know, back then they went up to 125s. Some on Wilson triple plaques, you know, that the kids wanted with them. As you see, the kids on it.
How you doing? My name is Coach Will. I'm one of the 75-pound coaches. I started about 9 years ago. My son was 5 years old when he started, so we fell in love with the game and been coaching ever since.
Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it. Good game, y'all. Okay, don't worry about it. Come on, don't worry about it. Come on, keep your head up. Come on, keep your head up, all right? Keep your head up. Keep your head up. So, Coach, don't worry about it. It's all good.
I say leave it all on the field. We leave it all out there on the field. Yo, Wildcat, listen to me. Make this be a lesson to y'all. When y'all come out there on that football field, y'all want to give it everything you got. You understand? Yes, sir. Because if you don't give it everything you got, you're going to go home and say to yourself, what did I didn't do right? Did I take a play off? What did I didn't do? We got y'all guys prepared. Y'all had to go out there and perform. Y'all understand that? Yes, sir. All right, we had a great season, fellas. I want to see all y'all faces back out there come next year, man. All right, we're a family, right?
Let's go.
We go down with the ship, right?
Let's go.
When we was winning all season, we was all good. Now, sometimes you got to take a loss. Is you still with me?
Let's go.
I can't hear you. You still with me?
Yes, sir.
Is we still Wildcat?
Yes, sir.
Is we still fired up?
Yes, sir.
Listen, brothers, let this be a lesson learned. When you come out there on that field, you give it everything. You give it everything. Y'all got that. You don't take a play off. Y'all got that. I love y'all guys, man. All right? All right. Thank you, parents. Yo, clap it up for your parents, man. Thank you, parents. All season long. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for the support. Proud of them boys, man.
Cool.
Yes, sir.
How you feeling today, man?
A little down right now, but, you know, we here. We got our ticket stamp. Came in, we showed up. We had a few things that kept us almost from not playing the game. A couple kids, paperwork, things like that, but that ain't my job. It's political. We came out here, handled our business. We came to fight, so the results was we came up a little short.
What lesson that you think that the kids learned today?
Well, to leave it all on the field, not give up, not take a play off. You know, sometimes you won't know that until the big game. You know, you can teach it all day long, but when that big game comes, kids got to know to leave it all on the field.
That's always out there with their kids out there. So we always, like, if you had a son or a daughter or whatever, and you was always at practice, and you come out there and you know, you go, Mr. Rogers, you want me to keep the role or something like that? Then eventually, see, I can get you as assistant coach.
Hi, I'm Coach Will from the Oak Lane Wildcats 75-pound hit squad. Tell you a little bit about myself. I came into Oak Lane Wildcats about 10 years ago. Started coaching about 10 years ago. Been to a few championships, 7 in a row. Just want to say that I love coaching football. You know, my son started at 5 years old. My oldest son, he's 15 years old right now, so he's been playing ever since. Great kid, and I also have another son that's playing. He's 10 years old. His name's Dion. And just because of having them 2 kids around, you know, I had to figure out something to do for them. So we took up football, and we've been at it ever since. Give you a little background. I coach with Coach Miles at the 75-pound level. He gave me a shot 10 years ago. But there's some people who also influenced me to go up to the Simons Recreation facility. A guy by the name of Tommy Shields, one of my mentors. You got Orlando Cleveland. He's another guy that influenced me to go up there and start coaching. So it was a great deal of people that had an effect on me going up and being a part of the Oak Lane Wildcats organization.
Is that true?
Well, for me, that's pretty much what happened in my situation. You know, I played 1 year of football myself when I was young. I played for the Total Cowboys, South Philly. Don't hurt me, Uptown. But that was my only experience with playing organized football with equipment on. Just having a passion of seeing the young kids getting out there and playing really gave me the juice to wanting to coach kids. Coach Miles gave me a shot. You know, I started off the water boy, to be exact, carrying water for the guys, and you know, then it became inspirational speeches towards them. You know, they mess up, I was the guy you run to on the sideline, I build you up and get you back out there. Then it turned into, Coach, we need you on the field. So I got on the field, and it's history after that. You know, like I said, we've been to 8 championships, 7 straight. We won it in 2016. Just like working with the kids, you know, giving back to the community, you know, is what it's all about. You know, it's not for me or for me to get any accolades. I would rather see the kids with it. You know, it's all about teaching the kids the fundamentals, respect for themselves, respect for the game, showing them to be young men or young women, and that's what it's all about. Well, sky's is the limit. The kids control their own destination. You know, we get them prepared and get them ready for football. So, you know, we would like to see these guys going to Florida and things like that, playing in major tournaments. But it starts at home. You got to put the work in at home. So, therefore, we have to do better on the field, getting these guys ready and getting them ready to go down south. That's where everybody going, down south. So, you know, and we got a game coming up this week. We just started our first spring football league. We are the Ducks as of right now, Uptown Ducks.
Where would you like to see the organization go to as a whole in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, I want to go global with it. I want to see the organization blow up and get really big. I want to see the community blow up and get really big. But the only way we're going to get there is with everyone's support. I would like to see the people coming out of these houses and supporting this neighborhood recreation center. This is why we have it, so we can get involved and get these kids off the streets. There's been a lot of killings and things of that nature in the last few years. So we're looking for all mentors to step up, come out there and be a part of these kids' life. It's not just about your kid, it's about the next person's kid. So if you can come out there and give just a little bit of your time, it would make a difference as far as keeping these kids off the street and giving them something structural to do.
Okay, now, if someone wanted to help, whether it was, physically, monetarily, like they want to donate anything, where can they reach out to? Who should they reach out to? What direction should they go?
Well, we have a board set up. Yeah, we do have a website, so you can go on to the Oak Lane Wildcats website, and all the information is listed there. So you'll be able to donate, or if it ain't money, it's just time. We're always looking for someone to donate some time. It's not always about the money, but the money is good because the money gets spent towards the kids, uniforms, buses, equipment, things of that nature.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
And then we figured out, hey, after football, the kids decided that they wanted to play basketball. We had three basketball teams, 3 different age groups, and we had coaches, parents coaching the kids. So now, after basketball, they wanted to start baseball. So now baseball. So also in basketball, we had a girls basketball team. See? So then they wanted to play baseball. So now we had 3 baseball teams, a girls softball team. Now, after that, going into the fall or coming out of the summer, they wanted to run track. So we got the track program. It was sponsored by the city. And I used to go to meetings down there, but now we have a year-round program. So now we're going to have to get bylaws, and, so we sit down and we met, man. We started meeting on a Saturday evening, and we didn't finish until that Sunday morning. We broke that night, late that night, went home, got some sleep, came back, and kept going because we wanted to finish. We got our bylaws together and everything, and it was incorporated, and, and we rolled from there. We wanted 13 members, all wanted odd person for voting purposes.
Well, we were just doing it because we like sports, and we felt we could help by getting these kids involved in something else, and that's where it really started. A whole lot bigger because we started with the football program and had some cheerleaders, and then we went from there into baseball and basketball and everything else. We even had a tennis team at one time, so we were involved in a lot of things.
We went from like nothing all the way up. We had a lot of kids involved. I mean, the 75-pound football, I think they were like 7 and 8, 9, 10. Like 7 and 8, if they got too big, then they move up to us. So 9, 10, 11, 12. We had some great success. We did.
Good morning. My name is Coach Miles.
And my name is Coach Chris.
Y'all the coaches of the Oak Lane Wildcats, right?
Absolutely. We're a coach of the 75-pound Oak Lane Wildcat Hit Squad team.
Okay, the Hit Squad team. So like
yes, sir.
That team got like a little, I guess their own little moniker and stuff?
Yes, sir. Pretty much. We started it off, though. We the first ones. We started it off. I've been coaching the same age group. This will be my 19th year. Wow.
I've been out here 17 years?
Yeah, we always have this argument.
we've lost count.
Yeah.
At this point. Okay. It's to the point now where some of the kids we coach are now on our coaching staff.
Wow. That's tough.
So that's how long we've made a commitment to this community, is to stay out here and help coach some of these kids and teach them how to do the same thing we've been doing.
Okay.
All about giving back. All about giving back.
How long y'all been coaching? Like, what started y'all in the coaching?
The same thing. We was out here with our own sons, sit on the sideline. Another coach saw us here every day and said, "Hey, listen, you out here every day. You might as well come out here and be the coach." First, everybody starts off as the get back coach.
Okay.
Just telling the parents to get back, telling the kids to get back. Then you go to special teams, and then you go to a position coach, and you go to whatever. And then someone awarded us with the JV team in 2007. I think we was 0-9, scored 2 touchdowns that year.
Yeah, I know what that feels like.
Oh, yes, sir.
Exactly what that feels like.
Yes, sir. Since that time, we've been to 7 championships.
Okay.
So,
okay. That's tough. How many of y'all win?
You have to ask us that.
You really did not
You
have to go
ask us
there.
that. However, we got one. We've been there. We got one.
I understand. I coach basketball, so I
exactly.
understand, man.
We got 6 undefeated seasons. But we got one. So.
Okay. How do y'all recruit the kids? Or do most of them just order by word of mouth and they come out? Or do y'all go in and recruiting any kids, stuff like that?
We technically really don't recruit.
Yeah.
A lot of parents will tell you that they come here because of what they've heard on the street about our program.
That's true.
They may start here, they may eventually go someplace else, but they'll come here to play for us. So when the word on the street gets out to go, how many championships you guys go to? Do you teach your kids? Do you mentor your kids? I mean, he and I have both gone to schools for kids. So that's how we get our kids.
And I know it's a real good experience for the kids too, you know what I mean, to get out and try something, especially like some of them probably be their first time organized sports and stuff like that. So
Absolutely. I mean, for us, it's all still about fun. I mean, this is instructional. This is supposed to be fun for the kids. We want to get them dirty and stuff like that, but we want to teach them life lessons. We want to make sure that the kids understand and realize, like, listen, these are the people you really in your neighborhood you're going to grow up with the rest of your life. I mean, case in point, how long we've known each other? 5 years old, so we're always going to see each other. You might not talk to each other the same, but hey, we're here. What's up, good brother? And we're trying to keep them off the streets, trying to give them something positive to do. And then after all of that, if we win a couple games, we're cool with that.
Yeah. Do y'all travel? I mean, I know y'all play different teams, but like out of state or out of the city travel? Do y'all have any travel type games and stuff?
We went to Baltimore in 2012, which was awesome. Depending on how we finish this season, it's another tournament we're going to try to go to in Virginia. Our age group, in Pop Warner, at a certain age group, you can go to regionals and then you can go to Florida for championships. But at our age groups, they don't have that yet. So we just go to like Turkey Bowls or tournaments out of town. This year, I think we went to Mars Creek, which is Chester, close to Hershey Park. So if we can get them out of town, we will.
You mentioned Pop Warner. Is that the name of it?
Pop Warner is the actual league that we're playing in. We're in Pop Warner Liberty. There's a ton of different Pop Warners. I mean, we have Bucksmouth, Liberty. Then you got the ones down south where football is life. But for us up here, we're Pop Warner Liberty.
So as far as your organization, what is the name, the official name of the organization that y'all part of?
It's the Oak Lane Youth Association. Been here since 1971. They actually just established where I think it was 2 teams back in the day. Just football. So now we have football, basketball, cheerleading, track, baseball. Which is actually my first love. This football thing was like second, actually third, because basketball was next. So.
If someone wanted to help out, whether it's parents or neighbors, like how can they, donate and help y'all out? What would you say?
All they have to do is really come up here. I mean, come up here and just approach your coach. Hey, listen, it's like you said, we want to help. We don't know how to help. We don't know what to do. And we'll let them know, hey, look, here's what we need a parent to do. Here's what we need an aunt or uncle to do. Here's what we need somebody over the age of whatever, 16 to do. If you want to come out and help, you can start off as the get back coach, like I said earlier. It's another name we got for that, but we don't know.
We cannot say that.
We can't say that one, because the kids are watching it. But yeah, it's just donating your time. If you can't donate your time, and you have a couple funds, just come up here again. Just approach any coach. A coach will put you in contact with a board member and say, hey, look, this person wants to actually donate some funds because they can't donate their time.
So how intertwined is all the different teams? Like y'all the Western Wayne Wildcats, correct?
Correct, yes.
Mm-hmm. Now, say if someone wanted to donate to the Western Wayne Wildcats, would the funds be spread out between all y'all teams, or they wanted? You kind of understand what I'm saying?
It would depend on what that person wanted. Let's say, to give you an example, if you ask me, hey, listen, I want to donate to the 75-pound team. Okay, yeah, you can go straight to the 75-pound team. But if you're saying you want to donate to the Oakland Wildcats, the board will figure out how to disperse those funds between, like I said, all those programs. We got cheer, basketball, baseball, track, football. They'll figure out how to donate, whether it be buying a bag of mouthpieces, while getting some pom-poms for the cheerleaders, baseball for the baseball program. It just depends.
What's going on, Coach? Tell us a little bit about yourself, brother.
How you doing? My name Christopher Williams. I'm 25. I came up through this organization since I was playing football since I was 6 years old. I started off with the 55 Blue, and now I'm coaching for the 130s Wildcats.
So what's taking place here today?
Today we having our homecoming. Today we got a whole lot of people out here to come watch us play some football against the Aztecs. So we ready.
What can they do to help you out, help your organization out?
If the parents, we would love some more parent participation. You know, on our team, we only got a couple parents come out, watch the games, and help us out. If we have more parent participation, we would have more kids out here, you know, more kids and more vendors going on. Right now, we only got one vendor right here.
Wow.
Usually we have about five or six, but if we have more parent participation, it would be perfect.
Yo, listen up, fellas. Listen up. Yo, listen up. Yo, listen up. Listen up. Playing good football, but we got to continue to play good football. 14 points is not enough to win this football game. Y'all got me. 14 points is not enough. Y'all got me. We got to keep pounding these guys till they quit tonight. They come up here talking trash to us. I want y'all knocking the snot out of them. Y'all got that. Oh, no, y'all got that. Put it in. Who's out? Who's out? Yo, second half, we got to play like that. We got to go out there and show them that this is our house, and we're not taking no trash tonight. Y'all got that. Yo, I'm watching y'all. A lot of y'all jumping the scrimmage. Yo, why you talking? A lot of y'all jumping the scrimmage. I need y'all to watch.
Coach, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your name, what you doing?
A little bit about myself. My name is Nasheed Parker. I coach for the Oakland Wildcats in 30 pound. I also a former player.
Okay. What made you want to get involved with coaching the Wildcats?
Football has just always been a passion of mine, and I feel like I just want to help the community out more.
Okay. How long you been doing it?
This is about my 4th or 5th year.
Okay.
College.
Okay. This one of your players right here?
Yeah, this is one of our second-year players, Shamir Norian. Yeah, he's still hurt right now, so he's not playing today. But
okay. Okay, what position you play, man?
Linebacker.
Linebacker. Okay, how long you been playing football?
4 years.
4 years. Okay.
Can you tell us about some of your sports heroes who you like in the game?
Le'Veon Bell, the little man.
Okay.
How's y'all team doing this year?
We are 2-2, I believe. We lost a close game last week, 8-6 to the Blackhawks.
Okay.
We should have won, honestly. Today we have a real big game today against number 1 seed for the Aztecs. So
Okay.
Good test today.
Okay.
Question for you: if you could just take one thing from something that your coach taught you, what would be that number one inspirational thing that coach has shown you or taught you that you can take away from the game?
Make the tackle. Hard work, you know what I mean? Discipline, stuff like that.
KDL on the track. Let's go, Wildcats, here we go. Let's go, Wildcats, here we go. Let's go, Wildcats.
My name is Mark Cobbs. I've been coaching for about 17 years, and I've been with Oakland Wildcats for about 2. and just helping and giving back to the youth and keeping them out of trouble through the outlet of football. A lot of these kids have been in the organization since very, very young age, and they just been moving up together and developing into a little family.
Right. What's the number one lesson outside of football y'all try to teach the kids?
There's more than just one. You have teamwork, you have perseverance, you have humility, you have discipline. I mean, lifelong lessons. A lot of these kids will become professionals in other things in football.
That brings me to another question. So far from the organization, has anyone made it to the college or made it to the NFL?
Many. I mean, every single year we have multiple athletes that either, because we propel kids from this level to the high school level, and then from the high school level they go on to college, and there's a lot of kids that you'll see from your McDevitt's and from your Dohertys and from your Roman Catholics that all came through this program. One thing, of course, donations always can help, but it also is just a support of the community to know that they're being supported for staying out of trouble.
I'm Coach Diamond of the Oakland Wildcats Tiny Mites, and this is our 2018 homecoming. This is one of my cheerleaders right here, Zayna. Say hi, Zayna. Hi. And we're so excited to be out here today. Hopefully everyone can come out, have a good time, and enjoy the festivities. It benefits the young kids because it's basically something for them to do, an activity. They build bonds with each other and basically meet different types of people. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, yes. Definitely teamwork in all aspects, with school, with at home. They take it not just here, they take it outside of here also.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
My name is Rhonda Putman. I am a cheer mom of the West Oakland Wildcats. I'm out here supporting my girls.
So how long have you been a cheer mom?
About 16, 17 years now.
Wow. So what's the most significant thing that outside of cheering has the organization done for your daughter? Is that correct?
Daughters. My 6-year-old is out here. My 13-year-old is out here. My 14-year-old is out here. And I think I love for my 6-year-old. As far as my 6-year-old, her coaches, they're very sweet, kind, and nurturing. And I like the way this is her first year, so I actually like her coaches. I like the team. I like the way they get the parents and things together and involved. As far as my older girls, they've been out here since 5 and 6 years old. So right now their coaches are coach. She comes to pick her up from school. So they're like big sisters / mentors to the girls. So, they always have the girls involved in different things. So that's what I like about the older girls and their coaches.
So if you could say one thing to some parents that's still stuck on the fence about joining.
First I would tell them, because what they do, they have cheer. They have a camp. So I would tell them to come into the camp and see if the child likes it at first. And this is a good organization to be a part of. Everybody's family. So once they come to the cheer camp or the football camp and they child like it, I would say go from there.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We played the team last week.
Okay.
It was a good game. We beat them 35-7.
Wow.
And they didn't show up today. What they told our president was they thought they had a bye week, but their record is 2-4.
Okay.
They have a bye, and be 2-4.
Okay.
We, the number 2 team, be 6-1. They didn't show up this morning. We've been out here since 7:45, ready to rock.
Wow, waiting on, huh?
Just waiting. Ref showed up and everything. So
y'all still had to pay?
Still got to pay the ref.
Wow.
So what we're told is the other organization, the president's going to argue at the league meeting tomorrow. Each week after week of games, they have a league meeting on Monday.
Okay.
Talk over how things went, and then if any disputes, they bring them up in the meeting. He's going to say that, let them play next week. But everybody knew the schedule. The schedule was put out. They didn't show up.
Do you think that's fair? What they trying to do, or that's ball?
I'm gonna be honest with you. If the schedule was put out and they knew and they had notice, yes, it's fair. If you forfeit, you can't forfeit a game. It was out there.
Okay.
Now we don't know what the outcome is. The playoffs. Anything can happen in the playoffs. I'm not gonna say that we were gonna beat them again. You just never know. Somebody a fumble here, a trip here. You never know. But if it was. The schedule was put out, but you can't make us play a game next week if we're ready to play today. You don't know what we have on our schedule. You don't know what overtime is give you to see. People got jobs.
Right.
Whoever won today
Right.
would have had to bye next week because the number 1 seed plays whoever wins because the Raiders and the Aztecs are playing today. So the number 1 seed is supposed to play that team, the winner of that game next week. So this kind of hurts us because if the forfeit holds, we don't play again until November 3rd. So I gotta get my kids some work and schedule some scrimmages against other teams to see what's going on. I don't want to sit down for 3 weeks without playing.
All right. Cool.
Y'all determination and y'all drive brought it from a seed to a tree. And I appreciate that.
Because we gave up, I gave up a lot because I was working at the time and my kids got involved. So I said, well, I'll get involved. And I gave up a whole lot because I was working on Saturdays and I stopped working on Saturdays just to coach. Try and help somebody else's kid as well as my own.
Wow, that's a deep sacrifice right there.
So we came up, we brought up a lot of kids, I'll put it that way.
My name is Jayla Willis, and I am the Girl of the Year.
Girl of the Year goes to Miss Jayla Willis.
I do cheerleading in and outside of school for the Oakland Wildcats and for Shellingham High School.
And what part do you play in it? Like, what's your position?
Mainly I am the base, but I can also do back spotting, and sometimes I help out other girls on other teams.
And how did you get started with the Wildcats?
First my brother played football, and then I got into the cheerleading part.
And how old were you?
I was 5 years old.
You were 5 years old. And how old are you now?
I am 16.
So, what is the career path you think you would take after being a part of the Wildcats?
My first career path will be engineering, but I also want to be a coach for the Oakland Wildcats as a helping hand.
How do you think the life skill that you've learned with the Wildcats is going to help you in your future?
It helped me work as a team better. Before I was a little shy and I didn't know how to talk to people, but as I gained friendships out of cheerleading, because of cheerleading, it helped me work with different attitudes and different type of people.
And what advice would you give, say, another young girl who would be interested in doing cheer?
The first thing I would say is, if you're new, start to get to feel the people instead of just coming in thinking that you are on the team because you're on the team. Start to work with them and do what they want you to do, because at the end of the day they are older than you and they probably have more skills than you.
Can you give me a quick story of anything that kind of stood out for you, any events that you performed in that was exciting?
Okay, it was this one event and it was right before we went to Disney, and it was this year. We got all these new girls. It was 5 old girls that were already comfortable on the team, and it was all the new girls and they were making everybody nervous. But as we coached them through it and we worked with them during the award ceremony, they were getting a little emotional, but we just helped them out and we won at the end of the day and we all worked together.
So you guys went to Disney?
Yes.
With the Wildcats?
Yes.
Hey. So how did that, is that the top, is that top championship?
Yes, that's the end of the competition if you decide to go to Globals, which we didn't, but that was our last competition, which we did do good in. It was a lot of competition, but we all worked together and I feel like we did our best.
Derek Norris. I coached here at Oak Lane Wildcats for 20 plus years. I started in 1994 and currently still working with the kids. I'm the head coach at Jules Mastbaum High School. Been there for 5 seasons and try to continue to work with the kids.
Can you explain your experience coming up and coming through the Oak Lane Youth Association?
I started Oak Lane when I was 11 years old at the 75-pound team with Mr. Harry O. Wilson. Had a great season that year. Moved on to my second year with the 90-pound. We won the championship at the 90-pound football team under Coach Bob Brown and Oscar Turner. We moved on to 105 the following year, made it to the championship, and we ended up losing. So being at Oak Lane pretty much set a good lifestyle, for me, with the coaches being father figures, for a lot of us kids who fathers wasn't around or passed on. My father passed when I was a younger guy, so, the coaches here was like father figure to me. So that's what pretty much had me come back when I was older to give back to the kids and, give that same experience to some of the kids that needed it. All right, I started roughing probably about 12 years ago. Actually, it started just pretty much just to get, a couple extra dollars and just pretty much do it, to provide, reps for the kids so they could be able to play around. But then once I really got into it, I really, really started liking it because just like coaching, when you're roughing, you can kind of teach kids as you're going along through the game. So I just, started doing it, again, another aspect of giving back to kids. Kids, they always want to have one team is going to like it, the other team's not. The parents get a little crazy, but most of the time you don't really talk to the fans that much. But if you do, you just got to kind of pretty much talk the way through. I would definitely advise them to get into it. I mean, if that's what they really would like to do. I mean, one, money to be made, but all money is not good money. So if you want to get into it, I would actually tell them, get into it, learn your craft. One, make sure you know what you're doing when you get out there, get a book, study. And I mean, it's a good future. You can do it. And, I would definitely, show them the path, how to go, as far as how you take the test from the beginning all the way to actually get to your first game assignment.
Oh yeah, Carlton Williams, president of Oak Lane Youth Association. Also, I help out with coaching football and basketball.
So when did you get started with the Oak Lane Youth Association?
It's been like 1979 when I started out here, when I was like 9 years old, where we was at 19th and Cheltenham. I saw a piece earlier where one of the coaches said where it first started, but I was one of the originals that started at 19th and Cheltenham before it went over to Martin Luther King and up Simons and all those things. That's where we started at. We biked up there from right here in the neighborhood. So that's how much the program meant to us back then.
Can you tell us about that very moment when you got involved? Like what happened, what there was, that very moment?
Yeah, so Oak Lane was always the thing. Like today they got all of these other social media outlets and things. The only thing that we had, we looked forward to when we was a kid, was Oak Lane playing Oak Lane football. I mean, I remember coming up here when I was a young boy, when they did have a game up Simons. I think I might have been like 7 or 8, and just watching the crowds and watching the kids participate, the hitting, playing football in organized fashion. It was something to see. It was the first time I ever saw it, so I wanted to be a part of it. And everybody in the neighborhood wanted to be a part of it. So when you was in Oak Lane, I mean, that was the thing to be in back in the day. So we really, that really motivated me to participate in the program.
Wow, so you had said you had started like at the beginning when they was down 19 Cheltenham. Do you remember who was the coaches?
Yeah, Mr. Wilson, Mr. Bunch, Mr. Roberts, Mr. Brown, so Mr. Hubbard, all of those guys that actually started the program was my coaches. So I just remember how passionate they were about teaching the game of football. They were strict. I mean, we had to run fields and run laps and exercising in the heat, but we had fun with it. And they showed us they really cared about, the young people from the neighborhood. They spent a lot of time, energy, and effort in helping us grow and giving us an opportunity to participate in a great program.
Can you share one jewel that they gave you that you still use to this very day?
So the one jewel that I had actually is when I was an assistant coach for Mr. Turner. He used to say this saying called excuses, and I remember it to this day because I use it not only on the field out here with the young people, but in my life at all. It's called excuses. He said excuses is tools for the incompetent, used to build monuments of nothingness, and those who often use them are seldom good for anything else but excuses, excuses, excuses. Don't use them. So you got a lot of young people that like come out today and say, you know, I don't feel like playing, I got a headache, I don't want to do this, you know. The coaches back then, they wouldn't allow that. They wouldn't allow you to give excuses. You make a mistake, you're supposed to pick it up and keep going. And those are like valuable lessons that you not only learn out here, but you take that to life, because if you make excuses on the field, you won't come up short. So, you know, that's one of the things that I think that was really, really inspirational to me as a person, as a coach. When he said that, he used to say it quite often when young people used to try to make excuses for making mistakes. So we want to make sure that we encourage people to be their best. You're going to make mistakes, but don't make excuses.
What is your job as the president of the Oak Lane Youth Association?
To make sure that we offer fun, competitive, productive programs. I mean, back then when the program was started, it was designed to keep young people off the streets, to keep them out of gangs. Well, that mission really hasn't changed today, because although there is not the formal gangs in Philadelphia, there's still a lot of violence and murders that happen. And I think these programs give young people an alternative to the streets that don't let them get caught up in them things. So just like it was started back then, today we're still out here making sure that young people have them same opportunities and not get caught up in the streets and all of those other things that get them in trouble. So I think that's my mission, is to ensure that we still got programs running, to ensure that they have fun and competitive experiences and the opportunity to see themselves as successful.
What do you want to see happen with the Oak Lane Youth Association in the near future?
Well, Mitch, we're approaching our 50th year anniversary here in this organization. I mean, the timing of this video and this documentary couldn't be more perfect, because, you know, we're about to hit 50 years of giving young people, boys and girls, the opportunity to be successful. I want to see it around for another 50 years. I want to see, like my son play. I want to see my grandkids out here playing Oak Lane football. You know, I don't even live around the neighborhood no more, but I still feel a compassion and a commitment to still be here. And I hope to see it around and continue to grow, because it's very important. I mean, there's not very many programs around that do the things that Oak Lane do for young boys and girls. So I want to see it around for another 50 years. That's my goal.
So if people really wanted to help out the Oak Lane Youth Association, what can they do?
Well, first thing you can do is just come out and volunteer. I mean, you could either be a coach, or you can help out in the concession stand, or you can volunteer on the board, you can help fundraise. We always need funds. That people think that these programs are free. They're not. They do cost. The fact that we are in competition that go to Florida for both cheerleading and football, we need to raise funds. And so we can always use volunteers who have financial support, or if you don't have, the financial support, can't get financial support, just come out and volunteer as a coach or a participant. There's so many things for you to do to help these young people. And, there's an opportunity for everyone.
If somebody came to you for advice on how to become part of the Oak Lane Youth Association, what would be the #1 first thing you would tell them to do?
Come to one of our games, especially homecoming. I mean, you can feel the atmosphere. It's like a family atmosphere out here with our young people. I mean, you can just see the camaraderie. You got families that are, bring tents out and watching their family on the field, watching their participants and kids. If you really want to be a part of a program that's family oriented, I think you will get a good experience by just coming out here and watching, especially on homecoming. We have almost 2,000 people out here, up and down the field. People out here cooking for the kids, and they take care of each of them like they're their own. So if you really want to be a part of it, you want to give back unselfishly, this is a program for you. Our young people certainly appreciate it. They remember you. Watch them from 5-year-old all the way up to 16-year-old in high school. And the most rewarding thing is when you start coaching, you start to see them come back. So some of the kids I coached almost 20 years ago are actually coaches today. So if you want to get involved, you want to get experience, come out and watch a game on a Saturday, or especially come to homecoming and get to meet the people, and you'll know what Oakland is all about.
When is the next homecoming?
This year I think it's in October.
Okay.
And I can get the date. It's the last game in October.
Okay.
But again, if people want to know about it, we'll get you the date and certainly make sure that they get up here for that. Okay.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Find